Good evening, friends. Welcome back, everyone. Today is Saturday, July 18th, 2026, and the medical world is absolutely buzzing right now. If you or someone you love is dealing with high cholesterol, Alzheimer's disease, or even liver health, you need to pay close attention to what just dropped over the last 24 hours. We are officially transitioning out of the era of painful injections and entering a world of highly targeted, daily pills. Today, we are breaking down a historic FDA approval for a first-of-its-kind cholesterol medication, a massive real-world study on a blockbuster Alzheimer's drug, a surprise breakthrough from King's College London that repairs DNA damage in the brain, and a major shift in how weight loss drugs are being used to fight liver disease. Let's dive straight into the biggest news of the day. Hashtag Part 2, the blockbuster FDA approval, goodbye injections. PCSK9 inhibitor blocking a generic protein cell. Let's start with a massive victory for cardiovascular health. The US FDA has officially approved Lipfendra, generic name, Enlicitide, developed by Merck. Now, why is this an absolute game changer? For years, if your standard statin pills didn't work to lower your bad LDL cholesterol, your next best step was a class of highly effective drugs called PCSK9 inhibitors. The catch? They were exclusively expensive, bi-weekly or monthly injections. Lipfendra changes everything as the world's very first oral PCSK9 inhibitor. It is a simple, once-daily tablet. According to late-stage clinical data, this pill slashes bad LDL cholesterol by nearly 60%. It's designed specifically for adults with hypercholesterolemia, including those with hereditary high cholesterol who just couldn't get their numbers down with standard diet, exercise, or statins. Merck announced a list price of $315 per month. While that's not cheap, it is significantly more accessible and convenient than the injectable options dominating the market right now. This is a massive win for the 1 in 4 adults globally dealing with high cholesterol. If you struggle with stubborn arterial plaque, this is a conversation you need to have with your doctor immediately. Hashtag Part 3, Alzheimer's update. Leqembi hits the real world and a new DNA repairing drug. Moving on to neurology, we have a double-header of incredible news for Alzheimer's disease. First up, the highly anticipated LEADER study was just published, analyzing how the blockbuster anti-amyloid therapy Leqembi, lecanemab, works in routine, everyday clinical practice, not just in perfect clinical trials. The data is incredibly reassuring. The real-world study confirmed that 82.5% of patients receiving Leqembi either remained completely clinically stable or actually improved after 17 months of treatment. Specifically, 75.9% stayed at the exact same cognitive stage, and 6.6% improved by a full disease stage. What makes this even better? The effectiveness was consistent across all sexes, races, ethnicities, and genetic statuses. Even better news for convenience, the FDA also just approved a once-weekly, at-home subcutaneous injection option for Leqembi, meaning fewer tedious trips to the infusion clinic. But wait, it gets better. Researchers out of King's College London just announced a spectacular breakthrough with an experimental drug called KCL286. Most Alzheimer's drugs focus on clearing out amyloid or tau proteins. KCL286 takes a radically different route. Originally developed for spinal cord injuries, this drug actually repairs dangerous DNA damage and directly reduces brain inflammation in mouse models. Because it targets multiple underlying pathways of decay and has already cleared its initial human safety trials, researchers are fast-tracking it into Alzheimer's clinical testing. We might be looking at the next generation of cognitive preservation. Hashtag Part 4, the weight loss drug pivot, Wegovy greenlit for fatty liver disease, MASH resolution, 63%. Now let's talk about GLP-1 medications like Wegovy. We already know they dominate the weight loss market, but today, they officially expanded their territory into organ preservation. India's apex drug regulator, the CDSCO, has officially approved Novo Nordisk's Wegovy for a massive new indication, treating non-cirrhotic metabolic dysfunction-associated steatohepatitis, widely known as MASH. MASH is a severe, progressive liver disease where fat builds up inside the liver, causing aggressive inflammation and advanced scarring, or fibrosis. Until recently, treatment options were incredibly sparse. This new approval was backed by the robust 240-week Phase 3 Essence trial. The results were staggering. 63% of patients taking Wegovy achieved a total resolution of their liver inflammation, and 37% saw a measurable improvement in their liver scarring. This makes Wegovy the first and only GLP-1 receptor agonist globally approved to directly halt and reverse MASH with moderate to advanced liver fibrosis. It proves that these lifestyle medications are evolving into deep metabolic lifesavers. Part 5, AI and Oncology, Cutting Out Unnecessary Chemotherapy. In our final major segment, let's look at how artificial intelligence is completely shifting the landscape of cancer care. A brand new study published in Nature Communications has introduced a cutting-edge AI tool designed to prevent breast cancer patients from undergoing unnecessary chemotherapy. Right now, doctors rely heavily on genetic mapping to see if a patient needs chemo after breast cancer surgery. But a massive number of patients fall into a frustrating intermediate risk gray zone, leaving doctors guessing whether the harsh side effects of chemo are truly worth it. Irish researchers trained an AI tool to look past the cancer cells themselves and instead analyze the tumor microenvironment, specifically looking at cytotoxic T cells, which are the immune cells that attack cancer. The AI discovered that patients with a very high density of these specific T cells actually had poorer outcomes when given standard chemotherapy. This means their bodies were already doing a specific type of heavy lifting, and the chemo was redundant or potentially counterproductive. Because this AI utilizes standard tissue samples already taken during routine biopsies, it can be rolled out globally without requiring expensive new machinery. It's a massive leap toward truly personalized medicine. Part 6, Global Health Quick Hits and Regional News. Before we sign off, let's look at a few quick medical headlines developing right now. In medical infrastructure news, the National Medical Commission in India has officially greenlit 11 prominent non-teaching hospitals in Delhi to conduct compulsory rotating medical internships for foreign medical graduates. This will heavily ease the local medical residency bottleneck through 2028. High-profile medical bulletins. Doctors at Delhi's Safdarjung Hospital have released an official update on activist Sonam Wangchuk, who was forcibly hospitalized following a grueling 20-day hunger strike. While his vitals are stable, doctors are continuously monitoring him for dehydration and rising ketones. Concurrently, prominent political leader Lalu Prasad has been stabilized and is being transferred to AIIMS Delhi for specialized observations following blood pressure fluctuations. Tech in medicine, a hardware breakthrough using metamaterials has completely redesigned MRI antennas. It allows existing clinical scanners to map previously impossible to see areas of the brain and eyes in a fraction of the usual time. Anemia in adolescent girls in slums of Mumbai. First, the team interviewed the girls' mothers. They all said, "We're trying to feed them, but they won't eat," Greets recalled. So they interviewed the girls, who said, "The way out of the slum is to get married. And the way to get married is to be skinny." The girls were skipping meals to lose weight. Self-restriction was not on anyone's bingo card. All of the solutions were addressing the wrong problem, said Greets, now a pediatric oncologist and researcher at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. Medscape. Late-stage cancer diagnosis. Men have a significantly higher likelihood of late-stage cancer diagnosis across 20 different tumor types. The largest disparities involved tongue, thyroid, and salivary gland cancers. The reasons for the disparity appear to be multifactorial, involving biological, social, and cultural determinants. MedPage Today. COVID. Among more than 204-year-olds born during COVID lockdown in England, executive function was lower than pre-pandemic norms in an observational study. The picture for language was more mixed, with higher than expected results for receptive language, but lower than expected results for expressive language. Other developmental characteristics, including nonverbal reasoning, expressive vocabulary, and receptive vocabulary, were actually better than pre-pandemic norms. MedPage Today. Part 7, Outro and Call to Action. What an absolute whirlwind of a day for medicine. From oral cholesterol pills replacing needles to AI sparing cancer patients from harsh treatments, the pace of innovation right now is unparalleled. Which of these updates do you think will have the biggest impact on global health? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss your daily dose of breaking science and medical news. Stay healthy, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video. Disclaimer: compiled information. This content is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional advice. The audience must verify the contents before use. The creator, publisher, and YouTube will not be responsible for any harm.